Best of r/entitled parents episode 17. Here are some notes I want to address before I tell you the story. 1. I only assume this is an EF because he's at a school where children are at. Picking up kids, I guess. 2. I am on mobile so expect some grammar mistakes and weird formatting. Okay cast. M. My mom. EF. Entitled father. So my mom was waiting for my little brother to come out of the building. She does this every time so it's not a big deal. While she was waiting, a man just walked up to her out of the blue. EF. I don't like the way you are standing. The man looked drunk. But why though? M. Well excuse me, but I like the way I stand. It's the way I want to stand. It's the way I will stand. EF just started to change the subject. EF. Where are you from? M. From Russia. This is true. My whole family line was from Russia. EF. Aha. I knew it. M. How does being Russian annoy you? Then EF just left. I don't why but he just left. And my brother came out and we just went home. Short story, I know, but yeah, thank you. Next. Characters are EM. Entitled Mom. R. Registration lady. N. Nurse. I'm at urgent care for a back spasm. I was trying to mind my own business waiting for registration, but I'm in a lot of pain, and focusing on something helps keep me from cursing. I overhear the following. R. Just so you know, there's about a 2-hour wait currently. EM. Even for 3-year-olds? R. Yes. For everyone. EM. So you're going to make a 3-year-old wait 2 hours to be seen? Just for a cough? R. Yes, mom. EM. Can I leave and come back? R. You'd have to ask the nurse. There are other people waiting though. EM takes a totally happy, well-behaved toddler into the next room, and I focus on getting myself registered without crying or screaming. After a couple minutes, I hear EM raising her voice from the waiting room, only about 10 feet away through an open door. EM, you're saying we have to sit here for the next 2 hours when we could be out running errands? N. Yes, mom. If you leave, you will lose your spot in line. EM, look at him. All he has is a cough. He just needs someone to take a quick look at him. N. This is urgent care. If you feel the need isn't urgent, you have other options. EM is currently huffing in the corner, bitching on the phone to someone. Her toddler is happily coloring with some of the other kids in the waiting room. Thank you. Next. Notes. I'm on mobile. English is my first language. Roles. Me, the one posting this. D. My dad OB. Older brother EK1. Entitled Kid 1 EK2. Entitled Kid 2 ED. Entitled Dad BF. Best friend Instructor. Backstory. So a while back D, OB, and I had decided to sign up for a martial arts class. Wushu if you are wondering. D had apparently gone to this place before and knew the instructor well so it was really easy to get in. ED, and EKs 1 and 2 had joined a month after us. This story does include the testing day we trained for. Main story. So I had showed up in my uniform like I always do with D and OB. Once I get to the main room I don't see anyone else except for ED and his kids. Inst had come out and told us to start training because that day was strictly a training day. This was the day before testing. So I call over OB to start with sword fighting. It's important to note that the swords can still hurt you even though they are foam. They had a wooden base. Enter EK1. He starts running around in front of me and my brother so we stopped training. We told EK that he shouldn't be running around and that he should be training. He seemed to understand and went somewhere else. Fast forward and I'm practicing forms with D and OB. I had asked my dad what there was to work on still until EK1 came up behind OB and EK2 came up behind me. They had the foam swords and hit me and OB in the back. OB managed to keep his balance. I wasn't so lucky. I fell to the floor and I couldn't breathe for a second. After that I got up. This was the following conversation. Me, EK2. What the heck? Don't run up behind me and hit me in the back. OB. Same goes for you EK1 you're lucky I didn't fall. Don't play with the foam swords. They are for training not playing. EK1. Oh come on it's not like they can hurt anyone. So being such a loser and take a joke for once. Me. Yes they can. They have a wooden base inside of the foam. Also jokes are funny. I don't hear anyone laughing. Knocking me onto the floor isn't funny. EK2. Oh boo-hoo. Deal with it. We're still better than you two anyway. We're gonna be the ones to get our gold belt, not you two. D decides it's a good time to get ED over there and explains to him what happened. ED, I don't see the issue. D, your sons literally knocked my daughter onto the floor and hit my son on the back. ED, well I guess they deserved it. That's what you get for not paying attention to your kids. D, I'm sorry? I was over there with my kids the entire time, so what part are you talking about? I finally jumped in and said something. Me, sir, you shouldn't find it acceptable for your kids to hurt other people. They could get in some big trouble for that. ED, don't tell me how to raise my kids, you fucking brat. Me, excuse me. Now my dad has a bad temper when it comes to people messing with his kids, so he starts yelling at this guy until Inst comes over and separates them. After class my dad told Inst what happened. Inst, I see. Well I guess karma will come knocking. D, what do you mean? Inst, I can see that those three haven't been training. Chances are they won't get their gold belt. There is a belt scale. The first belt you get is a gold belt. That's what ED, EK1, EK2, and I were all working towards. I then realized that the EKs weren't talking about my brother and me. They were only talking about me. OB and D already had their gold belt. Testing day. Testing day was absolutely terrifying for me. 1. I had never done this before. 2. There were actual judges. 3. I had little to no confidence in myself. OB told me to at least try, and as long as I do my best, that's what counts. It's just a silly belt after all. This gave me a whole lot more confidence. So during the testing we did forms, balance. The kids who had been training with weapons did their part, and then my most dreaded part, stance. Stance was to make sure you had good balance and couldn't be knocked over. I had to do it for 5 minutes, not even close to as bad as black belt time. So after that's all done, we all lined up against the wall. EK1 purposely put himself next to me and kept spewing comments. Then they call out gold belt. Inst, and our newest and only gold belt winner, my name. ED, EK1, and EK2's fades were priceless. I didn't say anything, I just gave them a shit-eating grin and went up to get my gold belt. Best day of karma ever. E.S. Fun little thing I wanted to add. 1 week after that they left and never came back. Suo. Also unfortunately the place I used to go to train is now closed. Inst had to retire, much to all of the students' sadness. But I hope he's doing great. Thank you. Next. Hello there fellow Redditors. This is my first ever post and I'm on mobile, so apologies if anything goes wrong. Cast me, Smexy man posting this EA, entitled Auntie C, entitled Cousin Mom for you Americans. So let's begin. I was around 6 at the time of this story and me and my cousin were very close. We were around the same age and only lived a few doors away. It was a hot summer's day and my aunt had invited us round for a barbecue. My uncle had also said that he had bought a new paddling pool which me and my cousin was excited about. So we arrive in our bathing suits and EA invites us in. A few days earlier they had just come back from an all-inclusive stay in Spain and were bragging about how much they spent and all that. My mum, being used to this, just nodded along and told me and EC to go play in the pool. For a child my size the pool was relatively deep. I was, and still am, a small guy, but there was a few adults around, so what was the worst that could happen? Anyways, me and EC started splashing each other till things started to get a bit rough. He started to hit and kick me. Me being the shy kid as I was, just took it and laughed it off. EC didn't like this and decided to push me over and hold me under the water. I was under for about 30 seconds until my mother had noticed. Here's how that went. Mum, what are you doing to OPEC? Just having fun. EA, leave them alone. They're only playing. Mum, up's drowning. EA, okay. My mum stormed over and pulled EC away. He then started to screech at the top of his lungs. EA, what are you doing to my son, you bitch? Mum, EC was drowning. OP. Was I just supposed to let that happen? EC, he deserves it. At this point I started to gain awareness and punched EC in the face. Something like this was totally out of the ordinary for me, especially being the quiet kid I am. You're such an idiot. EC, he punched ME and he tried to kill ME. EA, learn to keep your son under control, you fucking whore. Mum, at least my child has more common sense than your child who thought that drowning my child was okay. EA, you poor bitch, why is my son being blamed? It's obviously Arp's fault. Mum, you're such an arrogant bitch. To this day I am still so surprised at how well my mother had handled this. My mum quickly grabbed me and left before shit hit the roof and took me to McDonald's as a sorry gift. My mum has yet to contact them and only see them very occasionally at family meetups. My cousin has apologized to both me and my mum, however EA gives us death stares at any chance given. Thanks for reading this far. TL. Doctor, cousin tried to drown me and shouts at my mother because it's her fault. Thank you. Next. Hey guys, I hoped I would never have to share a story here. Anyways, yesterday I had a Karen experience and well, here I am. Background, I am a guitarist of a deathcore band. 3 years ago, I bought a used, custom 8-string/Fanfret J custom Ibanez. The guitar of my dreams, black with golden flakes in it. Today I live probably an hour away from the band location, because I study architecture in Karlsruhe, Germany, so I had to take the train, 45 minutes, and then drive by car. I of course had my guitar with me because I was practicing during the week. As I entered the train wagon, I saw the Karen, 150 centimeters, 4 foot 11, and about 150 kilograms, 330 lbs, short, red hair, the ugliest glasses you could possibly find, and 3 children, which seemed to be okay but in high spirits. Each kid had an iPad, but after 5-10 minutes, the battery of EK1 died. 8-10 years old, he runs around, searches something new to play. To this moment, I listened to music pretty loud, so I didn't recognize EK wanted to talk with me. He, insert high-pitch Karen voice, he, me, pulls out earplugs, my kid wants something to play, me, okay, now what? Points at my square guitar case branded with Ibanez. WH adds that. Do you have something to play in there? My kid is bored. Me, nope, that's a guitar. That's why it's branded with Ibanez. They make guitars. Can my kid play it? He took lessons for 2 months, not sure how long, was absurdly short. Me, that's a 4K custom build guitar, so I feel pretty uncomfortable to hand it over to strangers. B, it's a 8-string. I am pretty sure EK cannot handle that, especially because he has pretty small hands. Insert earplugs again, ignoring EK and 5 minutes later, I feel how something pulls on the case, so I look up. Gimme that guitar now. Brain, guitar in danger. Defense mode activated. I stand up and look for her mad. I am 195 tall, so she was half a meter taller than her. 2. I do martial arts and look pretty brutal, so I thought that should do it. Are you offending me? I am calling the police now. At this moment, I decided to just stand up, walk in a different wagon and sit down again. Of course she didn't call the police, so I didn't hear anything of her again. Thanks for reading. Sorry for my rather bad English. Have a nice day. Thank you. Next. Background. A while ago, I went on a vacation to Disney. As most of you probably know, the parks get extremely crowded. This was especially true when I went, considering we went during one of the most popular times of the year. We had a fast pass for a roller coaster that usually had a 2-3 hour standby wait. Obviously, cast members allowed more people in the fast pass line than in the standby line to board the ride at a time. This surprised 2 Karens. Nice cast member. K1 Karen 1 had 3 kids with her. K2 Karen 2, KK1, Karen 1's oldest kid, about 8. Had just stopped the fast pass line from boarding, and she then let the standby line start moving. I don't remember the dialogue exactly, but here is a pretty accurate retelling. How many are in your party? K1, 3. Okay, you can go see the next cast member. K1, before I go, I just need to say that we have been waiting a long time, while the fast pass line has been moving and moving. This is unbelievable. K2, I completely agree. I have been waiting 1 hour and 30 minutes. The fast pass line just keeps passing us up. This is ridiculous. You should have stopped that line a long time ago. Oh, I'm sorry. K2, yeah, I am not having a magical experience. We're in Disney World, and I wanna know what you're going to do about it. CM let the FP line keep moving after that, so I didn't get to hear the rest, but K1 was only a party ahead of us. K1 to her kids, this is so ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, we've been waiting so long for that ride, and they just get to walk on. KK1, we just have to wait so long, and the worker didn't do anything. K1, I mean, we come to Disney World to have a good time, and now we have to wait 2 hours for a ride. My family and I talked about how they should have expected a wait. They should have gotten a FP. We feel bad for CM, etc. Hoping one of the Karens would hear. I didn't know if the Karens themselves noticed, but K1's kids did. They glared at my sister while she talked about the Karen's bad behavior. Sorry this wasn't as crazy as other stories, but I thought it was funny. I also have another story about Karens coming together at Disney. I might post that, too. Thank you. Next. I had completely forgotten about this story for the longest time, but one of her friends brought it up at dinner today and I thought it'd be funny to share. So let me tell you about my girlfriend, real quick. Comparing the two of us is like comparing a freshly picked apple to that month-old artichoke in the back of your fridge. She is seriously the most beautiful woman I've ever met, and I look like a redneck bum living in a trailer park. And unfortunately, I'm not the only one who thinks she's pretty. She's told me time and time again about how guys come to her and hit on her when she's out on her own. Even when we're together, I sometimes notice a random dick staring at her like she was their newest catch. Luckily, she's as smart as she is tough, so she never falls for any of their weak pickup lines. This one time, though, was one of the most embarrassing moments of both our lives. Cast, GF girlfriend, ED entitled dad, EK1 thirsty man, M barista manager, me think about it. So we were at our local coffee shop in the dead of the afternoon. No idea how it's like for you, but our coffee shop appears to be like a bar when it comes to the people. The town's craziest individuals under/over the age of 21 come here to talk, sometimes get in fights, and flirt with one another. Now, I really don't come here very often, but one of my old high school buddies, BM, works here. Plus I like their white chocolate drinks. GF and I sat ourselves down after getting our drinks and we talked for a while. Random stuff, not important, but I couldn't help noticing, from a few tables away, a random guy, EK, looking like a sophomore or maybe a junior in college, was sitting with his dad, ED. He was looking at GF, like eyeing her, probably peeling off her pants in his mind. I didn't really want to stare back, but it was starting to get uncomfortable. She never noticed him, though. At one point, she gets up to go to the bathroom, and yes, EK watches her walk away. Once she was in the bathroom, though, he gets up and comes to me. EK, hey, where'd you meet her? Me, that's none of your business. EK, was it around here? Me, what part of mind your own business did you not get? EK, bro, come on, help me out. Where'd you pick her up at? Me, what do you mean picked her up? She's my girlfriend. EK, come on, man, everybody can tell she's a hoe. Oh, you mother. I rightfully tell the little bastard to piss off and he throws his hands up and goes back to his table. He starts whispering to his dad, who starts looking at me too. That's when GF comes back, and both of them are now looking at her. When she sits down, I kept my mouth shut. She asked if there was something wrong, but before I could answer, ED suddenly stands up, reaches into his pocket and walks over to me with EK. ED, say, how much do you charge, girl? GF, excuse me. ED, my son tells me this guy met you on the street, so how much he paying you? Me, I'm not paying her. She's my girlfriend. EK, come on, baby, you don't gotta lie, we're all men here. Then, ED starts waving around $2 100 bills in my face. ED, this look like enough, son. It's yours if you give her to us. Me, are you kidding me? GF, leave us alone. EK, dad, give him another $100. Suddenly, BM comes over, probably after I raised my voice. BM, what's going on over here? Me, BM, tell the ED, you the manager? BM, yeah, why? ED, I've been informed this man brought a prostitute in your shop. GF, I'm not a prostitute. He literally shoves her down into her seat. I was about to grab him, but I stopped myself. BM will call the police. I can see it in his eyes. ED, nobody's talking to you, ho. BM, okay, get out of my store. He points to the door. Both EK and ED group around him. ED, hey, I'm a paying customer. You can't kick me out. You should kick them out. She's a whore. You're a man. You can tell, right? EK, yeah, come on. That was when BM pulls out his phone and shows that he's already dialed 911. Just has to press the button. ED bolts for the door, but EK reaches for GF to drag her with them. She inadvertently punches him in the gut. LOL. And he runs off, squealing like a bitch. We obviously drew a crowd, but it quickly died down. Everyone went back to their business. GF has a mark on her arm from the guy grabbing her, but it's going away. I decided to tell BM not to call the cops, even though we have every proof in the world to arrest both of them. But the last thing either of us needed was court dates on our busy schedule and next to no money in our bank accounts. Still, BM felt bad for us and decided to treat us to free drinks on the house. GF joked and thought she did look like a hooker, how she was dressed and made up. But we both laughed, me just laughing just then realizing EK was so much of a loser. He had to get his dad to buy him a prostitute. Either way, it was an interesting day, one that hopefully will never be repeated again. Edit. Well, seems as though I've made a mistake not pressing charges on these two jackasses. After talking it out with her, she tells me that we should probably do something about them, even though this happened a while ago. So I'm gonna go see BM and ask if he has any info on them, mainly camera footage. She and I are also gonna go to the police station and see if they can do anything with what we have, which is nothing but us detailing what happened. But since it happened a while ago, I doubt they can do anything without camera footage. I'll update if anything happens.